I went back into Poland again after that view of the border, because the GPS things told me to go back and take this route instead from Kielce to Prague. And some quite interesting, there's a lot of water standing on the fields now because as I predicted, the melting of the snow is happening already at quite a considerable temperature. It's already 10 degrees. So the melting of the snow could actually happen quite rapidly at 10 degrees, or should happen quite rapidly at 10 degrees. It should be really melting away at a rate of knots, which is what I predicted, if you remember on earlier videos, might happen. And so there's the fields, in the middle of the fields are flooded. In the middle of cities, I don't know what's happening. Depends on how well they unblocked the drains and cleared the drains, I expect, but I wouldn't like to have a lot of that water come into my cellar, especially bearing in mind the fact that, of course, over the winter you've got people dropping their rubbish into it, and what the dogs do in it is, of course, even worse. And it all comes out during the thaw, and then it all gets left lying around, which is why you need the spring cleaning after the snow melts. And after 700 meters, turn right. That doesn't seem to be right to me. 700 meters. You sure about that? After 700 meters, turn right. Seems a bit surprising. I can't see any right turn. Next possibility, turn right. Well, that means it's sending me up to Glubčice, which is away from the border, but maybe it's got better roads for me that way, I don't know. Turn right, right. Let's turn right. There's a nice piece of, you never know what's around the corner, and there's a nice piece of architecture, if you like, going up there. It's the sort of thing that makes me happy that I'm doing it in HD. Quite a different matter doing this sort of thing in HD and doing it in the old traditional camera, because look at the brightness of the day and the chance to get some really nice open even the, there you go, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. No people not allowed. And the odd slightly ruined thing there, like that, but we don't know what it might have been in the past with cars on the windows. But it's all interesting, it's all got a certain atmosphere about it. I'll put the window back up again because it's only going to cause my... And a church which appears to be fairly disused here, with the top of it all, well, yeah, as you can see. And the mountains over in the distance over there. Maybe it's trying to take me around that and not engage me in it too much, or get me quicker onto better roads and motorways, I don't know. I suppose I'll make my mind up just basically to trust it and follow where it tells me to go, even though I'm a little bit doubtful about it. I would like to be in Prague by 6 o'clock, and it's now 11 minutes past 14. Which is 2 o'clock, of course, for those of you who au fait with the European way of doing things. So obviously I don't have enough space to record the whole journey, certainly not in HD, or battery, so I'll just give you highlights, I think, from time to time. We're still in Poland at the moment. I'll save something back for in case anything else nice comes up. It's a fairly unique piece of architecture there. That. Still in Poland, incidentally. It's a charming little windmill in the person's garden here. Lots of charming little things in these hilly villages down here. Things painted in brighter colours than they would be in towns maybe. Sometimes a bit more imagination when it comes to architecture in people's own homes. Things tend to look like chalets a little bit, although obviously you get the dreary standard stuff just like that as well. This is Glubčice.
After 250 meters at the roundabout, take the first exit.
First exit, eh? That one suggests it would be the second exit would be the quicker way to get into the Czech Republic. But they say first.
Take the first exit.
Take the first exit. That's what they say. Well, what am I going to do? Well, I said that I would go with the flow, so I'll go with the flow. Interesting. This is the first time I've ever been to Glubčice, but I've heard of it before on several occasions because I have a friend who has a farm down here, a big one, very big farm, one of the biggest in the country.
After 1 kilometer, turn right.
Amongst other places. There's an interesting looking piece of architecture. The way that church spire is, and the way that the bricks and the particular pattern painted on it, and the clock tower and everything. That's quite pretty, isn't it? You must admit. And the sort of castle-y looking effect of it. Is that a church or is it a... or is it a town hall? There's another thing behind it, which is quite a tremendous pair of spires over there. Polish eagle. And there's what looks like a cathedral building. What does it say on it? It says 750 years of our church from 1259 to 2009. So last year they had their important anniversary here for this very impressive looking building.
After 500 meters, turn right.
After 500 metres, so it's obviously not this right turn as yet. I finally got a chance to see Glubčice. I'm quite impressed with it, I have to say. Can't be that right turn either. Can't be this one because there's no right turn allowed. Another little church building here with a little black spire on the top. Pastel painted communist blocks.
Right.
After 250 metres turn right. So that looks like I'm getting sent off to Krakowice and Opole, which is not exactly what I expected to happen, but hey.
Turn right.
Turn right, they say. Presumably it thinks it'll be quicker for me to do it on major roads, or safer.
Follow the course of the road for a while.
So, but there's some interesting allotments there with little fancy chalets on them. So looks Glubčice, and so looked my, so far in so many years of having heard of this place, and being in Poland for a long time, so looked my final visit to, or my long last visit to, this town that I've heard of on many occasions. Again, we've got standing water because of the melting of the snow at, now it says 12 degrees, by the way, and still large amounts of snow still there, but by the end of the day that might already be gone. Also, it was a lot more before. right. There is no right. You've sent me a jolly strange route. I just don't get it the way you sent me at all.
After 3 kilometers, turn right. After 700 meters, turn right.
What an odd piece of architecture there is on the roof of that church. Have a look at that roof. It's not the most obvious piece of architecture, is it, that you've ever seen? Still largely white, with snow everywhere here other than by the road itself. Still in Poland, still going towards the Czech border. Over by the usual place that they take us over, Nachod, which means there won't be really all that much worth filming on the Czech side, so I'm just going to use the film on the Polish side, really. This is Kłodzko, which on a number of occasions I've driven through in the past year, but not during the light, so you can see a bit more of it right now. Wasn't worth. In fact, I didn't film it before because it wasn't worth it. The light was too low. These are all queuing for the centre, whereas we're transit, so in this lane it's going a little bit quicker. They want to go to the centre and have their food or whatever it is that they eat. Some interesting old post-Germanic buildings. That's a lovely one over there, isn't it? Have a look at that. It's standing there on the ridge. Up this way, I think, is the castle's on the top there, but we can't see because it's against the sun. But other stately buildings are around, and they show some of the Lower Silesian architecture. Down there you've got the river. I think it's in Nyssa, I'm not sure. Advert for a restaurant, some of the Lower Silesian style houses. So that was Kłodzko.